you, Spirit Choir. You'll hear a little bit more about where that piece comes from later in the service today. My name is Suzanne Mazars. I'm the music director here, and I'm here to share with you all the events in the life of our community. First thing, there's some things left over from the silent auction that didn't get bid on, and after service today, I can see Pat there waving in front of the youth room. She will be selling those items at a deal, just so we can still use them as a fundraiser, but at a reduced price. So have a peek at what's still available after service today until 1 o'clock. Our talent night is coming up. This is Neighborhood's monthly open mic in our 23rd year of running this. On Saturday, December 7th from 7:30 to 9-ish. All types of talents and ages are welcome to perform. The audience is very appreciative. You could come just be an audience member or perform. It's hosted by MC Allison. You don't need to sign up in advance, but when you arrive, you can add your name to the list of performers. Neighborhood Gallery presents 2 shows that are, there they are. The show opening is today after the service. Thanks, Lauren. The 2 shows are Printed Pluralism, a group show which has works on our West Gallery, and Drew Nelson has a solo show in our East Gallery. So you can meet the artists after service. After you pick up your items, you can go upstairs and check out the artwork. Our small groups are starting in January, and there's 4. One of them, I hear, is already full, so there's 3 small groups that you can participate in, and all that information is under the screen in the cappuccino room. You can sign up today and take a spot if you're interested. One of those small groups we're announcing today is Lectio Divina with Rev Sally, which is about reading sacred texts and reflecting on them. We're announcing it today because it starts this week. So if you'd like to participate in that, you can sign up or email Rev Sally. And this can be a drop-in kind of small group. You don't have to attend every week. The Active Hope small group is also being announced today because if you're interested in joining this group about empowering you to engage in meaningful action to address the challenges of our time while preventing burnout, there's a requirement to do a little meet and greet meeting with the facilitators before the group starts in January. So if you're interested in that group, please sign up today so we can get that meeting happening. You're welcome. Hi, Natalie. The Multiplace Marketplace and Fair is happening that's a Sunday, 2 weeks from today, in here in our space from 2 to 5 p.m. And that will have artisans, food, henna, multi-faith children's stories, and folk dancing. And that's presented by the Danforth Multi-Faith Commons and the East Toronto Multi-Faith community. So there's artisans from all of those communities going to be here in the space. It's a good time to do some gift shopping, potentially, and meet our partners. Warm Heart, Warm Clothes is back after a many-year hiatus. Christmas caroling in the neighborhood, and we'll be collecting clothes for our Out of the Cold program that happens here in this building. The Spirit Choir is leading it, but everyone is welcome to join in that day for carol singing. Happening Wednesday, December the 11th, from 6 to 9 in the evening. So we'll meet here, do a warm-up, review the songs. We'll walk around the neighborhood collecting clothes. Don't worry about that part. You're just responsible for the singing. And then return here for some warm refreshments and fellowship. I am looking for someone with a vehicle that could follow the carolers and throw bags of clothes in their car to be brought back here. If that's you, please talk to me after the service today. And a message from our Finance Committee, brought to you by Tony, our president. Here you go.
Thanks, Suzanne. And good morning, everybody. I'm Tony. I'm president of the congregation, a member of the Finance Committee. So today, on behalf of the Finance Committee, I just wanted to remind everyone to fulfill your pledges for 2024. As many of you already know, each of us as members makes a pledge sometime early in the year, but how much money we can contribute to the congregation over the course of that year. And then perhaps we set up weekly automatic withdrawals, perhaps we make a lump sum payment early in the year, middle of the year. There's all sorts of different options that people take to suit themselves and their families. But now it's getting towards the end of the calendar year, and so it's really time to make sure you've given all that you have pledged to in order to get your tax receipt for the year and also in order to keep our finances going. It's a fantastic time to be involved at Neighborhood. All the things that are going on are super inspiring. The last few days I've been assembling a list of the holiday activities for our website. Take a look at the homepage of the website if you want to see. There's about 10 different things. Anchored by our Yule service on the December 22nd and the Cosmic Walk service on December 28th, and all sorts of other things as well, including the Warm Hearts, Christmas caroling. So come and give money, and then we'll continue to pursue our goal of sustainability, which we're not there yet, but with growth and energy and love and activity and money, we'll get there. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you. There's a concert happening here, the winter concert of the Ukulele Orchestra of Toronto with special guest Gathering Sparks on Saturday, December 14th at 7. They rehearse here in our space every Thursday and will be doing their year-end concert. Our services are created by our staff and volunteers. Those people are Reverend Sally Fritchie, our minister, myself, Suzanne Mazars, your music director, Julia Thompson, our lifespan learning director, Debb Bertazzon is our service weaver today, Carlos Garcia is supporting us on AV Desk and Zoom, and Tab Anta is bringing our story for all ages today. We thank all of our volunteers, greeters, counters, lifespan learning, coffee, and others that I haven't named. We appreciate all you do to make this community possible. Starting next week, we move into a new theme. The new theme will be equity, love at the center, equity, with the message, everything is holy, brought to you by our minister, Reverend Sally Fritchie. Music will be provided by Taylor Abrahams and myself. Our service weaver will be Tab, and Time for All Ages will be with Julia. Thanks, Deb.
Well, we really are busy, eh?
Busy.
Yeah, good busy, good busy. Good morning, beautifully unique and special beings here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. Did you just say hi, Cameron? Yes. Thank you. Welcome to our Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Congregation service, ending the exploration about pluralism that we've been doing over the last 6 services. This theme holds particular significance today, given that yesterday marked Transgender Day of Remembrance, an annual observance honoring the losses faced due to anti-transgender bigotry and violence. Thank you all for being here today. I start by acknowledging that the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations are the treaty holders of this land, and that the Wendat, the Anishinaabe Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy lived here before me and are living here now, together with our First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. I offer my gratitude to our First Nations for their care for and teachings about our earth and all relations. I'll also remember a lesson taught to me by my Indigenous friend, colleague, and elder a long time ago, and then I witnessed it again while sitting in Indigenous youth circles. It's the idea that time and space is left so that all voices can be heard. Indigenous folks believe that spirit has no time. Now, the slang term Native or Indian times is sometimes spun in a derogatory way, but I'll never do that because I've watched the concept in practice and have great respect for this custom. To help us staying present today during our service. If you haven't already done so, please silence your phone and then join us as we all ground together by taking 3 deep breaths. And now I invite you to join me in reciting our invocation. If you're unable to read the screen above me and don't have it saved to your memory, allow yourself to simply listen and experience the words spoken by those around you. We're ready for the invocation. Okay, I'm going to read it. It doesn't seem to be up. Okay. Let us cast a circle of a sacred space here. Let us cast a circle of a cherished space here. A space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life. A life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families. Today, our chalice will be lit by Angie Junvier. Where is she? There she is. Come on up. Instead of lighting it anew, we will share the flame from the children's lantern, keeping the fire that burns within our loved ones also in our hearts.
Invite up the Spirit Choir to the risers, please, and Christina to introduce our prelude this morning.
Our prelude this morning on children is based on the words from Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. Gibran was a Lebanese American writer, poet, and visual artist. His background embraced religious pluralism. He was born into a Maronite Christian family, and in his life he was influenced by the Baha'i faith, Islam, and Sufi mysticism. This song tells us that our children are not copies of ourselves, but are their own persons, unique, wonderful, and from whom we can learn. Chorister Moira MacDonald, who could not sing with us today, used these words in a backyard naming ceremony for her own son many years ago to remind herself of that truth as she embarked on parenthood.
Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life, longing for itself. They come through you. They are not from you. Though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts, 'cause they have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Your children are not your children.
They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you.
Beautiful. I've never heard that song, actually.
You got to hear it 3 times.
I'm very moved. Here at Neighborhood, and as part of our pluralistic faith, we're open to many beliefs and we learn from many traditions. We welcome all people looking for a spiritual community. If you are new or relatively new, a special hello to you. We gather in fellowship for coffee, tea, or snacks after service. It's optional, of course, but we'd like to invite you to that as well. And if you'd like to be approached and hear more about us, you can signal us by using a red mug. And if you don't drink coffee or tea or bevy, just walk around with one. I'm kidding. Our services really do vary from week to week, so we encourage you to sample several to get a better feel for who we are. Some things remain the same, though. For example, our mission here at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of the world. Our theme over the last 6 services has been one of our 6 Unitarian Universalist shared values, and that's the value of pluralism. And in my opinion, this is quite timely. The UUA, or the Unitarian Universalist Association, speaks about pluralism by stating, "We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences, our commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect." And so today we'll be doing just that. We'll be reflecting on what we've learned from the past 6 services, our own life experiences, and in keeping with our mission statement, we will consider how we plan to move forward, keeping that wisdom in mind. It's equally important that we're going to be contemplating the pearls of wisdom shared by others in this thoughtful community. You know, it occurred to me this week that I'm really grateful to be a service weaver, particularly in this congregation. Planning services can be quite time-consuming. I know we make it look easy, but it does take some time. Why? Because weavers, staff, and volunteers work collaboratively to mold the services together. While we share some things in common, we also have varying opinions based on our unique ideas, beliefs, styles, and yes, personalities. That's why we don't use a cookie-cutter approach and why our services really do vary. One size does not fit all. The world is complex, and so are we. We're not always in agreement as a team, but in my experience, we're doing our best to walk the pluralism talk, if you will. We're truly open to making space for healing from what our colleagues have to say, unlike some dark, disrespectful, expressed polarization we hear south of the border and in other places across the world. We respect each other and do our best to act with love at the center. Not always easy. And in these challenging times, which impact us all on any given day, I have to say, thank you, my friends, for giving me hope. I need that right now. You have proven to me that we can actually walk the talk of pluralism, and it can be done with time and effort. I think many of us are familiar with at least some of the lines from Rumi's poem, A Great Wagon. It's really long but beautiful poem, worth reading in its entirety. But for today's reading, I'm going to share a small piece of it that is meaningful to me. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door still, where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. And now it's time to greet your neighbors. Knowing that today is a new day, a new beginning, new opportunities, and we are all awake. Let's greet each other with that in mind. And after you've greeted a few neighbors around you, don't forget to give a little hello to the camera on the back wall to say hello to our Zoomers. And Suzanne will sound a chime when it's time to end. So go ahead.
Great. Hi, everyone. Could I get my choristers to come up behind me here up front? Because in a service on community wisdom, we are going to make a community song together this morning. Isn't that fun? So how this is going to work, just seeing how many people are here. Sopranos, you're going to work with this clump and like half of this clump. You'll be one section. And then tenors and basses, you'll work with like you few folks here, up to like you few folks will be the middle. Yeah, sure, Bruce, you can join them. And then this quartet of friends here, and this whole area here will be with the altos. All right. So what are we going to do? You don't know, neither do I, because I'm going to improvise with you. So we're talking about pluralism today, and to get us really thinking about pluralism, take a minute to think about what that means for you, because I'm going to ask for a few words or phrases to create this community song together. So pluralism, you heard the definition, how that lands for you. And let's start, actually I'm going to start with the middle group, with the tenors and basses. So for this group, Karen, what's some words that come out for you about pluralism?
Light and dark.
Light and dark. Very good. Let's do, could I get this middle group to stand up, please, if you're willing and able. If you want to stay seated, that's okay too, just so you know who you are. And why don't you like take over the alley? So it can be a section. Okay. Light and dark, light and dark. Okay, nice simple one. Let's do It's gonna be light and dark, 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 light and dark. You too. They're gonna keep that going. Friends over here, what's some words or phrases about pluralism that's not light and dark? Yes. I'm sorry. Collective. Great. Light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. Collective, collective, collective. 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 Hi, everyone. Thought scored. Thanks. Love is at the center. Center. Love is at the 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 center. Love. The collective, light and dark, love is at the center.
That worked nicely.
Thanks, Deb.
Suzanne was saying, well, we'll see how it goes. I think it went well. Okay. So let me, oh, wait a second. I'm skipping ahead here. Where's, yeah, where's Tab? Ah, there they are.
Hello,
I almost
Carlos,
missed
how am I sounding?
Great.
Hi, and now is our time for all ages. Where has the toadstool gone? While we're toadstool hunting, children of all ages are welcome to come join us at the front for our story. Nice. So today's story is called The Big Umbrella. I hadn't actually heard of this story before Julia sent it to me. Oh, there we are. But I really like this one because the big umbrella in the story reminds me a lot of the community we have here at Neighborhood. And maybe by the end of the story, you'll understand why. This story was written by Amy June Bates, who is a mother, and her
What is happening?
and her child Juniper Bates. They wrote it together.
Oh. Oh God.
So by the front door, there is an umbrella. It is big,
Oh, that is ginormous.
and it is a big, friendly umbrella. That's why it has the face.
It's so cute.
It likes to help.
Yeah.
Can you see what the umbrella is helping to do here?
Need block the leaf.
It's helping to, well, let's see what's underneath, and maybe that'll give us an idea. It likes to spread its arms wide, and it loves to give shelter. It loves to gather people in. How many people have we got under the umbrella right now?
That's 4, I think.
That's 4. I wonder how many the umbrella's gonna fit by the end of the story.
Like 10, I'm guessing. That's my guess.
It doesn't matter if you are tall.
Oh God, that is very tall.
You think the bird's gonna fit?
Yes.
Oh,
It's just legs.
it doesn't matter if you are hairy.
Or hair.
Do you think they're gonna fit?
Yes.
Or plaid. Do we think they're gonna fit?
Yes. Why is it just feet?
It doesn't matter how many legs you have. Suzanne, do you think Siggy's gonna fit under the umbrella?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's already like more than 10. Ah, it has babies. Look, babies. I saw babies.
Some people worry that there won't be enough room under the big umbrella. But the amazing thing is, there is.
That's like 40 people.
Yeah, I can't even count how many people are under the big umbrella right now.
Definitely more than 10.
Yeah, more than 10.
And it can probably get taller. That umbrella can just become infinitely big.
How big do you think the umbrella is now?
Very. Oh wait, the sun is coming up.
There is always room.
She's just holding like an entire park.
Yeah, it looks like there's room for everybody and all their friends under the umbrella.
The tree is also helping.
Yeah, everyone's helping.
Okay.
Does that remind anyone of this community?
Absolutely.
For those who would like to join us in the Rainbow Room, now is time to follow the children's flame.
Well, that is some magical umbrella. Kind of like the magic that happens here, eh? Okay, so let me refresh your memories about the wisdom that was shared over the last 6 services regarding the value of pluralism. There we go. So on October 20th, in his message entitled Loving Pluralism, Rev. Stephen Atkinson and his team started our thinking about this value and reminded us that love can be a liberating force among us, and that in our stressful times, we need to know that we can love each other and appreciate differences. Key line of his, well, he spoke about the grout in the mosaic of several life stories that holds and binds us together. Next, on October 26th, which was our first Saturday night movement service, entitled Living with Lice, not Living with Lice. Living with Loss and Longing. Kathleen Ray and team guided us through embodied rituals where we were able to practice being with loss, access a full range of emotions, and physically and emotionally move through what surfaced for us. The very next day, on October 27th, we had our Samhain Intergen service entitled This Masquerade. We engaged in drumming and chanting and dancing as we connected beyond the veil into the realm of spirits, deities, and fairy folk. Kendrew and the team reminded us that there are other deeper truths beyond the masks that we wear and present to the world. On November 3rd, in her message, Let Us Pray, Rev Sally invited us to examine different ways and understand the possibilities of prayer despite our beliefs and spiritual practice, and to reflect on how we might find compassionate interfaith connection during life's biggest transitions. Great line. It's sometimes more important to be in community than in agreement. November 10th, Rev Lynn and team narrowed the focus on how in our UU faith we contain the multitudes by attempting to maintain our equilibrium, and include many different perspectives. She spoke about creative love being the substance and action that holds life together when so much is falling apart. And finally, last week on November 17th, Rev. Juniper Kwong briefly shared thoughts from Dr. Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey's book called What Happened to You, encouraging us to unpack how trauma may have impacted many of us in order to understand trauma responses in ourselves and in others with compassion rather than ways that shame, pathologize, or stigmatize others. And today it's going to be your turn. But first, let's meditate. During our meditation time, I'd like you to reflect on the two questions that we'll be asking you. The first is, drawing on our last 6 services and your life experiences, how does valuing pluralism deepen your spiritual growth? And then the second is, how does it inspire you to shared action? So let's take a moment, ground yourself, get comfortable in your chair, connect yourself to the earth beneath your feet. And if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes, take a deep breath, or you can cast your eyes downward. And now let's take some time to think about how pluralism inspires you and helps you grow. And slowly come back to the room when you're ready. Gently. I'll know you're ready when your eyes are open. All right, thank you. So let's get to the community wisdom. I'm going to give you some instructions. Here's how we're going to do it. You'll be divided in groups of 4. How many groups are we going to have, Peter? 16. Hey, 16 groups. Peter's going to hand out some group, it'll just say your group number. Now, if you are given the sheet, it doesn't mean you're group leader. Don't feel any pressure. It's just so that we can get you into your groups. While in your groups, you'll be given 5 minutes per question so that each person in the group has about 1 minute to speak. And again, I'm sorry we aren't doing this in native time, but that's just not possible today. I will keep time and let you know when it's time to move on to the next person to be able to speak. Once the discussion about question number 1 is finished, there'll be a few moments, maybe 2, of silence to reflect on what you've heard. And then I'm going to ask the congregation if there's anyone who's gained any new wisdom, new insight that they feel might be important to share with the community. And then there'll be a time to share that. Now, to be clear, we're not looking for somebody in the group to summarize everything that they've heard by everybody. It's more of like an aha moment that jumped out for you, that you believe would be valuable to share with the congregation. And we'll hear from 3 or 4 people. Zoomers, I suggest that you unmute yourself for the discussion, and that will form your own group. If you feel that you've experienced a grain of wisdom, you can write it in the chat, and then Suzanne will be checking the tablet. Then we'll move on to the second question. Same deal. Clear as mud? Good. Okay, let's do this. So Peter's going to, we'll give you a few minutes to, did you want the mic?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you let go of it.
Lauren. Lauren Renzetti, calling Lauren Renzetti. Thank you, Peter. Lauren just cued me that she has something to share that is relevant. This is a visual about pluralism.
So back in May, there was however many squares this is, that's how many people there were, minus I think 1 person. And everybody was tasked with drawing on top of a drawing that already existed to make a bigger drawing. And every single picture is a little bit different because of the image, but also because of the style with which they drew on it. And so this is visual pluralism.
What are we going to be doing with that?
Is there anything that you heard that you think everyone in the room should also know? And I'll take 3 or 4 people that raise their hands to share. I'll come to you with the mic. Great.
When pluralism came from my brain to my heart, I looked at the world around differently. And I looked at the map of where online of where UU is located. And it shows where the nearest pizza place is, and it shows where you can get your hair done. But it does not show the 2 other religious congregations in this building. And it seems to me we need to start at home and recognize the other 2 communities that share this building, namely the Jewish group and the United Church group. And they are not on the map of where UU is located. So, the people that made the map, I'd like to suggest that you just make a few changes and include those other people, our nearest neighbors.
And sorry, I forgot to ask your name. Your name.
Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Other reflections to share with the group. Here? Where? Here. Great. And your name, please. I forgot to ask.
Sure. I'm Astus, and one thing I found really interesting about our group discussion is that one member here had come from a very conservative, very religious background into atheism and finally found this very positive, supportive spiritual group. And another person in the group had come from a background of an atheist home and is seeking out their spirituality through this path. So that was a different path leading to the same point.
Thank you. Thank you, Aestus. One or two more?
Natalie, we shared that, one point was we're multifaceted. We have different dimensions of ourselves that exist that may be surprising. And that we may, in pluralism, we need to accept how we are different ourselves and how others are different. And a last point was in this time, valuing pluralism for me personally is about being able to listen deeply to people who may not actually share an understanding of reality, and also to be able to share how I see things differently, and to share of who I am, not give up on that dialogue.
Thank you. Thanks, Natalie. One last one.
Carlos, is there any word from the Zoomers?
Nope.
No. No. All right.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank
move
you,
on
everyone.
to question number 2 then. Same deal. Drawing from both our last 6 services and your life experiences, how does valuing pluralism, and here's the key, inspire you into shared action? You will have 5 minutes. As a group, please begin now.
Right. If you heard something in your group that you think everyone should hear, a nugget of wisdom, I'll come around and take bring you the mic. I won't take anything. I'll bring you the mic. Your name and your nugget, please.
Name and nugget.
Name is Bruce, and nugget is that there was it came up several times, the idea that when we take action, it's usually in the name of some kind of pluralism. It's usually pushing against some kind of pressure to conform or normativity, and that's generally what we're working to accomplish, is to make that umbrella bigger.
Thank you, Bruce. I'll come back here. Name and nugget.
Rob, and somebody said something in the last sharing that I think changed my life a little bit. They used the word listening, and I realized how often I listen so that I can argue and change someone else's mind. And how if I make a practice of listening to listen, this can change both of us.
Thank you, Rob.
I see 3 other hands.
Okay,
Kim had her
coming
hand
around.
up for a while.
Kim, I'm coming to you.
And then Christina and Peter.
My name is Kim, and one interesting thing to note with our group is in pluralism, we all talked about sharing that with food and how that can bring us together, but also see our differences and be inclusive.
Thank you, Kim. Coming around, Peter, I see your hand.
I learned from the reaction that many people in this congregation had to last week's service to be more careful to always use inclusive language when talking to people and talking about people, so that people don't feel left out, marginalized, or condemned.
Thank you, Peter.
Just how rewarding it has been to work with a community that needs help.
There is
Thank you,
some
Christina.
word from Zoomers.
All right, I'm coming. I'm going to take the few from Zoom. Thank you. From Sigrid, in working together, open our minds to other voices that are more quiet, encourage all voices so that we can open our minds and our hearts. Thank you. Deb?
Wonderful. Thank you all for sharing with each other. Peter's collecting the cards so that we can reuse them. And while he's doing that, I'm going to move on to our offertory. So, yeah, you can put your seats back in a way
Choir
that you
can come up to the front.
This congregation is a living entity, and like all living things, it must have nurture and sustenance to be able to grow, let alone to thrive. Right now, that's code for monetary contributions, by the way. If you contribute through pre-authorized withdrawals, thank you. If not, it's okay, because the greeters are going to come around and pass the baskets, or you can scan the QR code on the screen, and it's also posted in the cappuccino room. And that's going to take you to the donation page. As always, thank you for your generosity. As we give to the life of the community, we strengthen our lives within it. And now let's continue with flow and move to listening to the choir.
Our next song will be called Yamaya Asasu. It is from the Santeri religion of Cuba. Yamaya is a feminine Orisha who represents the maternal force of creation and life itself. Her home is the ocean, and I'm very drawn to water, so I love this song. She is considered to be the mother of many other Orishas. Asasu is the aspect of Yamaya found at the ocean's surface.
Yamaya Asasu.
If you have found love and acceptance here, if you've found home here, if you've known kindred spirits here, let this offering be a token of gratitude for our common life as we build the common good. Thank you.
I invite you to rise in energy and spirit for our closing song, where you are going to become part of the choir. Didn't know that was going to happen this morning, did you? So we're singing the piece that we sang as the gathering music. Love is love is love is love. Before we get into it, hi, there. We'll just tell you a little bit about it.
So as Suzanne said, our final song today is the same one we heard at the beginning during the gathering music. It is Love is Love is Love is Love. It was published by Abby Batinis for the Social Justice Songbook. It is a favorite among my family and a personal favorite of my son, who sings this song to calm himself down. What the writer Abby says about it is that this song is dedicated to the victims and survivors of hate crimes everywhere, and specifically those at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando on June 12th, 2016. Love is often the bravest thing that we do. May love prevail.
May love prevail. Thank you, Corral. For the congregation, I'm just going to have you repeat that first line. No matter what's happening with the choir, we're going to keep this same chant going, getting deeper and deeper. And it's familiar maybe from the Beatles song, which has a very similar melody. And it's love, love, love. All we need is 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 love, love, love.
Oh, you got me. I got a little choked up.
May love prevail.
May love prevail. So we have connected today with each other this morning, with our minds and our hearts. Now let's connect somehow by joining hands as I share the closing words and blessing. Another piece from Rumi's poem, A Great Wagon. He writes, "Today, like every other day, we wake up empty and frightened. Don't open the door to the study and begin reading. Take down a musical instrument. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground." So as you leave here today, may you be blessed with the shared wisdom from this beautiful community. May you stay awake, keep love at the center, and choose to walk the talk of pluralism. Our service is ended.
Wait, we'll bring Angie in to
Oh, I
extinguish
did it
the
again.
chalice.
Okay, that's something I always do. Angie, please come up and extinguish our chalice. I'm watching the time. Highlighting obviously doesn't help. So now our service has ended. Go in peace and in love with hope. And thank you, Suzanne. Have a good afternoon.